We know.
We are on, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today's the afternoon session on March 14th. We're going to start right down our agenda item. Our next item is Cascade Senior Center presentation. Anna Marie, if you don't mind coming to the mic. That way the folks on TV can hear you. And you can pull it down if it's too high. There you go. And I'll turn the floor over to you.
Well, I was really surprised that they chose me to come, but I get the short straw all the time anyways. You name it and we've got it. I've been involved in the Cascade Senior Center for quite a few years, going there to eat, doing different things, lending my talents for different things we do over there. But it was kind of sad because things were going downhill. The cook and dishwasher, husband and wife team, they had moved down to Star. The winters were getting rough on them. They still live here. They still maintain their property here in Valley County, but mostly for summer use now because of the getting older. And Margaret Yamamoto, she'd been around for a long time, been on the board probably since about 2004, and eventually worked her way up, or just by attrition. Nobody else wanted the job, got to be that's how things work here, you know.
Stick around long enough.
Yeah, stick around long enough and they'll nail you for sure. But she ended up being the coordinator, and for many years she did a very, very fine job. She came here as a young bride and didn't have much of a education, high school, that type of thing, but she worked into the job and learned it. But her kids were after her to quit, you know. She'd been a diabetic for lifelong, and so she felt bad about this, but nobody showed much interest in taking over. Well, I had this brilliant idea of asking my friends, who I pitch in and help all the time, to come play with me at the senior center. And boy, has it ever been a playground for the last 6 weeks. On January 31st, we had a meeting with what was left of the old board, and they were just happy to see a few of us decide that we were going to try to carry on. And myself, Bob Flayton, who's also the state Alpha Grange master, has been for quite a few years now, and a few others got in there, and then the lady who had been the treasurer ended up in the hospital, and we couldn't do anything about paying bills for a while, so I asked my friend John Ernsberger, who I bartended with for many years down at the Legion and washed dishes and played at the Legion with him. I said, hey, you want to come play with me at the senior center? And he said, be happy to. I love it when my friends do this. Really surprised me were two of my lady friends when I said, I really need some help cleaning this mess up. In about 4 weeks, we unplugged 10 freezers and one refrigerator. The electric bill over there was well over $800, closer to $900. And for years, stuff got put in the freezer, dribbles and drabs of leftovers, food that came in from the food bank, and just sort of forgotten about. And we filled up the dumpster about 11 or 12 times. And it sounds crazy, but there for a while, we were so thrilled to see the dumpster come on, the truck come on Thursday, and they'd say, hey, can you make it back in about 20 minutes? We got another load ready to load on. We got that taken care of. We've cleaned the building. We've cleaned things. We've gotten rid of all the aluminum pans in the kitchen. Should have been gotten rid of a long time ago. Nobody cooks with aluminum commercially anymore, and not supposed to either. On the 18th of May, I will be taking the ServSafe food managers test because somebody over there needs to have it. And with the turnover of people, we have a very nice lady, Janet Chappelle, who lives over in Leisure Time. She needed to have a little more income, and this is a second job for her. Took on the job of being the coordinator. She's very well versed in paperwork and doing all this stuff, except she has no background in the food service industry. And that in itself is a bit of a problem, but we're trying to bring her up to speed. And we've got a wonderful little cook who called yesterday with a big problem. Her husband is disabled somewhat, and he was having nonstop seizure activity and was airlifted down to Boise. So guess who gets to cook this weekend? This week, me. Just when I was hoping to get something done at my own house, which looks like a tornado has hit it. This is just me. I just go nonstop when I really believe in things. Here in Valley County, and especially here in Cascade, I don't know what's going on up in McCall, but we have older people that sit in their homes day in, day out. They're what I call the onesies. They're the ones that don't have family living here, or if they do, are kind of divorced from their family for one reason or another. And yes, I'm watching my watch.
Well, you got plenty of time.
I know I do. Anyways, and to get them out, to chat with each other, to visit with each other, just to pass the time of day. Dick Carter is a perfect example of somebody who rattles around in his house like a BB in a boxcar. His kids live in other parts of the United States. He's got a couple of grandsons and great-grandkids down in Boise, but nobody ever comes up to see him. He's taken on, the deer are his dearest and closest friends. Well, I don't know how you feel about all of this, but I've even pitched in and fed the deer when Dick was hospitalized a couple of years ago. Because I'm crazy, but he does it scientifically. I mean, the man has gotten the type of food for them that is good for them, and I always say they show up at Dick's for dessert morning, for the treat. He doesn't feed them enough to maintain them, but it makes what he does give them makes a big difference. We at the senior center, the ladies bring little bags of apples and little bags of carrots and little bags of this and that. That's good for them. So it's kind of a nice thing to do, and maybe it helps with people that come through here that like to stop and see the wildlife. I notice it all the time. So and none of them have gotten killed lately. So I guess that's a good thing, maybe. But it's important for him to have a place to go and eat lunch and sit down and commiserate with people. And sometimes he makes my life a living hell because of the type of person he is. But my background in geriatric psychiatric nursing really has helped a whole lot with dealing with him. And his family is very happy that I do keep an eye on him and let them know from time to time. But they worry about how much longer is their almost 82-year-old dad going to be able to live by himself. And this is very true of a lot of the elderly we have. And then we also have the elderly that are living in substandard housing. We have one lady that comes to the senior center almost every meal, and she lives in a older model motorhome. It does not have a working refrigerator in it. It does not have a working furnace in it. She's using a plug-in electric in there. She's trying to get into senior housing, but we only have 12 apartments here. This is another big problem, you people, and I don't know how you're going to face it. I mean, we're going to build how many homes south of they're out there working now on the Davis property. I'm sure that's going to be a real addition to Valley County. It's going to be done right. But where's the housing for these people that if we don't have it, maybe, just maybe you'll turn the hospital into a nursing home, the old hospital into a nursing home because it's terrible to have to send everybody down to Boise. Then that puts us further away from the people that would come and see them on a daily basis. The other day, we signed a birthday card for Delpha Scoro. I don't know whether you remember Boyd or Delpha, but I certainly do. They were one of the ones that welcomed us to the senior center when we moved here 20 years ago. Delpha's still alive. She's 96 years old. She lives down in the valley with some of her family. She's lucky enough to have family to go and live with. But we need so much for our group of people, even though we're kind of like either the forgotten ones or the ones you don't see every day.
I want you to know you're not forgotten. I
Well-
ask every single person I talk to about housing to please provide senior housing.
I
It is
mean,
a
I don't know.
critical
I don't know
need.
where you begin. I don't know where you all begin to it. I mean, I have no idea. And I really am very grateful that people that care enough. Elt's been here all his life. He was lucky to be dropped into paradise by the stork, but and I
I
envy
lived on the
that.
fringes. I visited you my whole life.
Yeah. Oh, well, and like I said, and I'm at it. I came up here doing private duty nursing for some people named Keys. I don't know whether you knew Bob and Rosemary Key, but she had early onset true Alzheimer's. And they found me because I'd taken care of somebody else in their neighborhood. And I knocked on the door, and there was their daughter Kelly saying, "We need you ASAP. Mom can't keep her clothes on, and we can't run a farm and have her out running around in the nude." So, and I spent a delightful 9 months with her before she passed away. And I'll never forget her husband when we came up here. He says, "What do you think of this place?" And I said, "If I'd have known this was here when we came up to visit John's sister down in the valley all these years ago," I said, "I'd have bought property up here a long time before we did." And Elt's wife, she happened to be the realtor. And I said, "Hey, how come this place is so cheap?" And she says, "Well," she says, "two reasons. One of the reasons was that there weren't very many trees on it." And I said, "Why would you want to spoil the view? I have a 300-degree view of Round Valley floor below me. I have a panoramic view of the West Central Mountains." I had some idiot come up and knock on my door, and it's not a real fancy place. It's a 3-bedroom mobile home under a snow roof. It was 7 years old when we bought it. Nobody had much ever lived there because this was a guy and his second wife, and every time they came up here, he wanted to drag his kids from a previous marriage along. So it wasn't the weekend honeymoon thing, and they just and then they got in trouble with the IRS, and that's why they were getting rid of it. And finally, it was just paying off what they owed on it, and we got it for a song. I mean, I picked up almost 2 acres of land, a 7-year-old mobile home, a 10-gallon-a-minute well, which I hadn't even thought about when we looked at the property. You know, it was a little bit removed from my Iowa roots there, but you need a good well, and with no iron in it, believe it or not. I picked that up for $38,000.
Wow.
And that was 20 years ago, and we happen to have the cash because we have been so blessed by the stock market over the years. But getting back to the seniors, I mean, everybody that lives in my community out there is about 70 years old or older. We have one lady who's a school teacher down in the valley, and she rents her place out on the weekend as an Airbnb. That's another problem we have. A lot of housing has been turned into Airbnb. Grandma and grandpa's house that they used to rent out to people reasonably. People have come to town and says, "Let me manage it and turn this into an Airbnb. I'll make you more money." Sure, they're making more money, but it wreaks havoc on the neighborhood. We're lucky. We have 1 out of 9 on our street that's an Airbnb. God help us if anybody else turns it into it. We're going to kill them. I mean, that's exactly the way we feel about it. There's weekends when, thank God, we've got 3 sheriff's deputies that live on our street. That's wonderful. They keep things on a it keeps it like Kevin Copery so aptly said to the people who own the place. "I want you to keep this public nudity out of the under control." He says, "There's way too much for my kids to see on the weekends," and put a stop to it. But when you don't have the regulations of a hotel or a place, that type of thing, then you have these problems. And I dog sit for people around the community, and they have neighbors that are Airbnb type, rentals, and it's a nightmare on the weekends. It really is. It's not fun, but and that takes away from our rural community, and I don't know how we deal with all of these people that are coming from California and here, there, and everywhere. Except I want to tell every last one of them to go home and straighten up the mess they've made of where they came from. because I don't want to see it come to Idaho. Because this place is, I mean, you people have no idea, for the ones of you that have been here most of your lives, you have no idea what a wonderful, marvelous place this is. You know, I love doing dishes. I don't have a dishwasher, but I love doing dishes because I'm standing there watching the birds fly by. I watch the elk wander through. They eat my tulips. They dig up my daffodils. Contrary to popular belief, you can't have daffodils and have elk around because they dig the bulbs up and eat them too. Now the deer won't. The deer won't touch a daffodil, but let me tell you, them elk, it's candy to them.
I think we have a new plan. So when we get complaints at the sheriff's department about short-term rentals, we're calling you. And you can go out and take care of them.
Oh, I have no different. I have no qualms at all of letting people know. I mean, I'm watching a new house being built right down below me earlier this year, and I want to thank your people in the health department. We had a guy come in on a small piece of land right along Herrick Lane. You know, the strip there of Snowhaven 1. Had a real problem with him. He was putting in his own septic system. It was one of those 200, those white plastic boxes in the metal thing. I called up and told him about it, and I said, you better get out here. This guy's burying one of these things, and he's going to use it for a septic system, and this isn't right. And I finally got Steve Bravo on it, and we finally got the guy out there, and he put a stop to it, and all of a sudden, he was gone. He quit digging, you know, and everything ended on that. Next door to him, they're building a really cute 2-story house, a little nice, you know, maybe 2-bedroom house or a loft and a bedroom downstairs. Watching this guy do it all by himself. Never seen anybody build a house before. And being a nurse, I keep thinking, well, I better pay attention to what's going on down there, because if he falls and hurts himself, nobody else is going to see him. And he put his windows in the other day, cut through the plastic all the way around, got his windows set in. Now, this guy's doing a beautiful job, but he's doing it the right way. How do you prevent all this stuff? And y'all can't be everywhere at the same time. But thank God that guy came out there and prevented the guy from having a little septic system and doing it completely wrong. And it takes everybody keeping their eyes open, because it's a nightmare. But getting back to my seniors, my beloved people that I really enjoy playing with, and also the ones that are a little bit younger than I am, but they're aging a lot faster than I am. You've got to do something to help them, because moving them, they end up having to move away. We lost Millie, can't even remember her last name, a lady named Millie. She sold her place over in leisure time and moved away. Karen Barton is leaving this in a couple of months. Harry died, and I used to go and help him. And she's selling out because, number one, there's no place to live. She can get a good price for a property now, but she wants to go back to Texas where she still has some family, doesn't have any kids. But I mean, we got to stop losing our elderly to the thing. And I started to tell you that I had a fella come to my door this summer and offered me $250,000 for my $38,000 investment in Valley County. I told him I wasn't ready to move into my $50 grave at Crown Point Cemetery yet. And which I bought 3 graves up there a while back, and right underneath the tree where the eagles nest. I don't know whether any of you have ever been out with the American Legion. One of the things I do for them, for years I've been involved, my husband and I have both been involved with the American Legion, but I ramrod the bunch that goes out and put flags on all the veterans' graves. In the Crown Point Cemetery, we have 4 Civil War era veterans. We have Spanish-American War veterans. We have veterans from World War I, World War II, all of them. And when they're out, when the guys are out there and they do their rifle volley, and then they play taps, the eagles come and fly almost every year. I get goosebumps because I've seen this too many years. The eagles come and swoop down and come around and fly across the graveyard. And I've got my graves right under the tree where the eagles nest. John thinks
Thank
this
you
is
for
funny.
your service with that.
But I mean, this is part of America we don't want to lose. We make sure there are flags on our little group down here, that we make sure there are flags on all the graves at the Alpha Cemetery, at the Crown Point Cemetery, at the Margaret Cemetery, and where else? Oh, and we make sure the little village of Yellow Pine has flags for the graves of their veterans up there, because there's quite a few veterans buried at Yellow Pine now. But I mean, this is all part of what we as Valley Countyites are doing. I don't want to see this disappear.
I agree with that.
And
Let me
the
ask
senior
some
center,
questions.
we've got people coming and wanting to use the senior center for everything. The last fella come in, oh gosh, this guy's probably as old as I am, and I'm going on 79. But his vision is to have judo and something else kind of in that thing, and all I can see is kids being flipped through the air, and maybe a few broken bones, because if I'm right, the bingo room where he would like to put these little lessons on is concrete, is vinyl over concrete, and that's not the kind of thing they need to have. This is something that needs to take place in a wood floored gymnasium. Plus, we don't have any place to store his mats that he would need to have, like a 4-inch mat for the kids to fall on if they were so lucky as not to get flipped onto the flooring. But I mean, this is we can't even begin to entertain that, and then we have to bring it to the county because the county owns the building. And thank you so much for renting it to us for $10 a year, and also for giving us another year to try to keep this thing going. But it's so important that these people have a place to come and to enjoy each other. And I mean, Suzanne Ernsberger, she's already talking about a Wednesday evening potluck where people bring things in and play games and cards and stuff. Anything to get people away and do
Let's
those
talk
type
about
of things.
something that should partner with you. So YCAP, the Western Idaho
We
Community
offered them-
Action Plan.
I don't know, I think Elt's pretty familiar with their building, but we offered them, there was a door on the outside of the building down by the bingo room, and it's a room that's maybe 20 feet in length and 9 feet wide. And we had old canned goods in there, and a freezer big enough to store dead bodies in, and another freezer in there, and beans from 20 years ago. And we got that all cleaned out. We offered them that room, and they turned us down. And
so
it would
I
have been
don't-
nice for an office.
I don't think that the right people have communicated with you yet then. I talked with their lead in this area. Carrie Palmer is the one that's looking for that.
Who is it?
Carrie Palmer.
Okay.
She's out of the Payette location. They
Oh.
are interested in partnering with you. I just don't think we've made the right connections yet.
Well, like I
So
said, I
I'm
offered
going
it to the
to-
ladies that were running the show over there in the little old house, and they weren't interested in all. And we would have loved to have them use that. We're not using it for anything right now.
Well, Lana Marie, I think that's a good group to have in with you. So if they come back and ask again, Sherry's going to give you some contact information. You guys could help each other out, I guess. is
Oh,
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
so. Yeah, because YCAP helps a lot of the seniors.
Yeah.
And they have expanded their housing program. They have somebody up here now twice a week. So they have a lot more resources available.
Well, I know one lady is very upset because she hasn't moved into senior housing yet. And I said, well, with what I've gotten moved into senior housing yet. And let me write this down because I have a hard time remembering my own phone number. Probably because I don't call it very often. Oh, there you go.
Thank you very much.
But the thing with that, I'd love to see that but mainly it's because nobody's died yet or nobody's gotten so decrepit that we've had to move them out. I know there's one 90-year-old lady that lives over there, that 90-some-year-old lady that lives over there. Her dog is really decrepit now too. And when I've gone over to pick up one of my friends that lives over there and that helps me at the senior center, Emily Sullivan, I often see this lady out Her name's Edwina. And sometimes she's out there in her 90. And I mean, this
She's 90 in her 90, huh?
90 in her 90. And I mean, and she'll wave at me and, and I'll talk to her. And Dennis, who's sort of high functioning, he's wonderful. In fact, this last week, Dennis's truck was in being fixed. And so John went over and picked him up and brought him in to get his dinner. And then I took him home because he won't eat with us. But we keep working on him, trying to get him in. But there's more people in the community that if they only knew about us or we knew about them, we could get them in there. And we've got to get rid of this horrible reputation we've got because the place is clean. It is friendly. We're willing to do anything for anybody.
Well, thank you, Lana Marie. We're out
I know.
of time.
I'm 2 minutes.
I appreciate all your effort and your energy, and you too, John.
He donates me.
He donates you, huh? Oh, at least he's not charging. And if there's anything you need from us, just let us know.
I can't imagine, but I'd really like to invite you to come over and eat and talk to the people and tell the seniors around, the ones that live here, down here in this part of the county, tell them to come over and try us out because that's what's gonna keep us alive. We get $6 for each meal from the federal government right now, which is wonderful. We also have other little things. We get free food from the food bank. All we got to do is go down and get it. That's no problem.
Now, I'm going to interrupt you because we're out of time,
I
but
know.
you guys still have a van, right? You still
Oh,
able-
yeah.
You got that replaced, so you're good there.
Oh, yeah, as far as I know it is, it's got to go in for its yearly thing.
Okay.
We take it down to H&H. But yeah, we got it up and running after it'd been sitting there since last August and not
Good.
got the battery. Everything's fine.
Well, thanks for coming in. Like I said, if there's anything you
I
need,
don't know why they sent me.
that's perfect.
It's
All
nice
right.
meeting
But
you.
come and see us. And we are having corned beef and cabbage, and I'm doing them Hugh Summerton's way
Okay,
in case.
tomorrow,
No, that's on Thursday.
Thursday, okay?
Thursday.
All right, well, thank you
Tomorrow
both for
is
coming
chicken
in.
enchiladas with a Mexican flair. Well, I lived down in Arizona for many years. I did pick up.
You should know how to do it,
Yep. And I'm off to the senior center to prep for tomorrow.
huh? Well, have a good day. Thanks
Thank you for
again.
your service.
And thank all of you for all of what you do for our sweet county.
Oh, it's easy peasy. Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh, that's funny. To our next agenda item, this is an action item. This is a bid opening for paving Cabarton, Johnson, Heinrich, Patty Flat, Rogers and Pearson. Jeff, I'm assuming you have those?
That was very wonderful.
Oh, my God.
Broke up our day. Awesome.
So I had a certain dollar amount to spend. My calculations were we might be able to do all these, but talking to oil suppliers and other people around, my money might not allow us to do all 7, but we're gonna find out.
That's all we can do.
And that is such good news that Mary was on the wrong line.
Yeah, we
and
just-
we did get funded. That's awesome.
So they're put together, so both of those are for the same road, both of those are for the same.
Oh, good,
road.
okay. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the Cabarton one first, and the first one is from Valley Paving and Asphalt. Somebody's gotta write this down, I hope. It's like Lake Wobegon today. Okay, this is for Cabarton Road paving project. Valley Paving and Asphalt for a total amount of $74,880. Somebody's writing these down, right?
Yeah, that's just move. That's not a total number.
One. I wish.
Oh, no, you're right, sorry.
Sold. Sign that.
Yeah, that's just, no, we'll add another 02 onto that. As for mobilization, asphalt paving 3-inch by 24-foot wide and pulverize the old asphalt. Total bid is $711,963.
That includes the other-
$711,963.
Okay, does that include the mobilization?
I was getting all
Yep.
excited. I was like, man, for that kind of pricing, we can do a lot more roads.
Exactly.
Competitive bidding.
I just want to see if you guys are paying attention. Okay, and this one is from Granite,
Still on Caburton.
still on Cabarton.
Yep.
Yep, and this bid is $848,856.03. 848,856.03. Do you guys want to vote on these now, or do you want to do them all at once? Because we're gonna have two bids for each road.
I think we need to open them all and see what the total is so we can choose which roads are most important if we can't get to all of them.
Okay.
That would be my vote.
That sounds great.
Okay, the next one is for Pearson. And this one is from Valley Paving. And the total bid on this one is $563,570. 563,570. Probably should leave these. Okay, the next bid is for Pearson as well, from Granite. And this bid is $789,397.73. 789397.73. Okay, now we're going to move on to Rogers. From Valley Paving, the first one. Total bid for Rogers, or does it say Rogers? Yep, here we go. Is $256,707. 256,707. And the second bid on Rogers from Granite. From Granite for Rogers, that bid is $358,857.44. 358,857.44. Okay, now we're going to move on to Patty Flat. The first bid is from Valley Paving. Patty Flat Road, Valley Paving. The total bid is $492,986.60. 492,986.6. And that was for Patty Flat. Second bid for Patty Flat is from Granite. Patty Flat, yep. And that bid is $642,498.87. 642,498.87 for Patty Flat. Okay, Valley Paving for Johnson Lane. Valley Paving, Johnson Lane, total bid there is $256,707 even. 256,707. And Granite for the same road, Johnson Lane. Yep, Johnson Lane Road. That bid is $358,850.19. 358,850.19. Okay, and the last set of bids are for Heinrich. First one is from Valley Paving. Rich Lane, Valley Paving, that bid is $274,983.80. 274,983.8. And the last bid from Granite, Brian Rich Lane. Yep. Okay, that bid is $381,630.50. 381,630.5. Jeff, how much money did we have? Not enough, I'm pretty sure.
I need to shave off about, I need 600,000 for crushing.
So you don't remember what your total was?
Thought I had 2.4 million in that line item. Shave the paving down to about 1.8,
So 1.8 million for all of it.
7 somewhere in there.
So who's doing the math on this?
So Valley Paving is 2,556,941.
What was that again, Sherry?
2,556,941 for Valley. And Granite's is 3,380,090.76. The Valley's obviously much less. So my question, is Valley here? Are you Valley? So how many of these projects could be completed this year? And have the capacity to complete this year?
All of them.
All of them? Okay. So Jeff, so within your budget, you'd budgeted $1.8 million. You got a lot of carryover out there.
If we took
Doug
off
has been-
Martin Road, that was basically 712 from Valley Paving or 850 from Granite. Take that one out. Looks like we're gonna be really close. That's just taking one off.
Okay. How bad does it need to be done? That's,
I was gonna say, I'd kind of prioritize that, but I'd also just point out that's the only one we got on the south end of the valley.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't, yeah,
I think we should try to spread it out as much as we can.
you gotta take off 3 of the other ones. So Doug, for him to use his carryover, we have to reopen the budget?
Correct.
Put a lot more than that in the budget.
2.6 million.
And that included the crushing?
That is to be, the road construction crushing that we have is 330,000 in a separate expense line.
So Jeff, let's talk about your budget. Are you certain that crushing was in there too? I know that there was some confusion on your crushing budget.
Can I come up and look at your budget sheet, Doug?
Yeah.
So it's all under contract.
Mind if I look? I might find some extra in there.
It's all under contracts.
So you have a separate expense line too of 330,000 for crushing.
And I know we thought we had 750,000 in there, so we needed to increase it anyways, but
You want me to show
Okay, so where's my contract line item at?
you have 2,408,000.
2.4, so I need that for crushing. That needs 2.4 for contracts. And to get my good crushing number, if you knock this down to 2 and move 400 back into there, leave me 2 million for contracts paving.
Doug, what happens when we get that SRS funding? Does that have to reopen the budget too, or does that just go into his general fund,
That'll
or?
just go into the road department revenue.
I agree with Dave, we need to spread this around.
Well, I think that's appropriate.
I don't think we can wait on Heinrich either. I mean, just driving those roads off.
Heinrich's a mess.
My priority ones are Pearson, Johnson, Heinrich, and we do Cabarton down here on the south end, and then about Patty's Flat and Rogers. Pass that up as we go. Rogers okay for a couple more years.
Patty Flat and Rogers, you say take out.
If we take those two out, that's about $750,000. I'll keep my crushing budget up around the $10,000 mark. I can get a better price. Find somebody to crush.
Not me.
It probably ain't happening this year. I don't know anyone that ain't out 2 years right now.
On crushing,
I mean, you can find someone, but not for good price. I mean,
Find somebody with an electric crusher that doesn't run on diesel fuel.
well, they're just so booked up.
Jeff, we go with your recommendations, I mean, that's the whole deal. I'd love to see us spend as much as we can and get it on the roads. And, take care of, I agree on Heinrich, I was on it this weekend, I thought I was gonna.
It's 4-wheel drive right now.
Heinrich is bad. And that's one where we can't really widen right now until we're gonna be buying half the garages and people's front yards and everything else to get that right away that was mentioned in that letter.
Can't do that right now, so. And I guess if we do get funding from SRS or in some other way, I don't know if we can expend it or not this year, but maybe in the fall, if we could finish up something late in the year, but
If things go well on my end of the world, I might be able to throw in another road
okay,
or two for my crew to pave.
might be good too.
Maybe I can do as good a job as these guys do, I don't know. Shh.
Yeah, he said it, you drive one. You-
Hey, I'm not gonna throw anything out there, but I spend a lot of time on farm to market, Jeff.
So
Patches.
Patty Flatten
Patches
Rogers is out.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
Patty Flatten Rogers is out.
Yeah, I think if we take those two out, we're gonna be right about that,
We
right
need to
where we
be.
wanna be.
So if I'm looking at this right, if my numbers are right, you take the lowest bid on each job. We kick out Patty Flat and we kick out Rogers. The winner would be for Heinrich Lane. It would be Granite. For Johnson Lane, Pearson Lane.
You're wrong on that.
No.
Did I get the numbers upside down?
Yeah, Valley paving got all of them.
Valley got
Yeah.
all of
Did
them?
I just have my wrong. Sorry about that. Okay, we'll check that and make sure.
So you're at 1,807,000.
Yeah, that's not the number I wanted to do that.
And that everything is within your budget
Yep, right.
from there. And then everything else is within your budget. The other roads you've already got.
These guys have a better feeling on what it is right now.
No one knows right now.
Well, that's why I put seven bids out there, because when I did these up, I probably did them all in. These are quite a bit higher than what the initial findings were.
And off your list of priorities, this was where the top of your priority list was.
And we'll take care of three, if not more, little roads with our crew.
So the total bid for those 4 roads would be $1,807,223.80.
We're out slightly, but I don't know where that is. 1,807,247.79.
Yeah, I could have typed in stuff wrong.
Me too.
What'd you get? You got 1 point.
1,807,247.79 is what I had.
We're only like
Got it.
$23 difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make the motion then that we award the contracts to Valley Paving for Heinrichs, Johnson, Pearson, and Cabarton.
Hey, and then if you do end up getting the funding, you still hold those. Your,
Heinrich, Johnson, Pearson, and Cabarton. Did you say 4 of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Heinrichs,
Second
Johnson, Pearson, and Cabarton. And there's an acceptance page, so I guess I signed this.
I'll second
Wait a
that
minute,
motion.
yeah. Who did second? Any more discussion? Yes,
One more thing. Oki just brought it up. There's such a difference in these bids. You guys bid my spec for asphalt?
yeah, it should be in your quantity.
3-inch mat, 24 foot wide.
Well, there's a
Oh,
spec in there for the asphalt. 3/4 inch, 5/8, half inch, 200, 400.
you're gonna have to come up and help me with that one, mister.
You guys didn't give a quantity, so that just off. of
Yeah,
what
the
you
quantity's
said.
figured by you, but my asphalt spec should have been in there.
I don't see those, Jeff.
They didn't submit that part of it. They're in there.
So let's make sure those are right before we vote. Take your time, Jeff. We got plenty of time.
It's all the same. You don't remember seeing that in there, Jim? Oh,
Third page.
third page.
Did you ever hear back on the Fair Board audit? Did Jared get back to you?
This is the spec you're talking about.
Did I not respond to you?
You said he was supposed to be getting back to you, but
No, it's my apologies. So we were supposed to receive a draft. We have not received it.
Oh, okay,
Forbid we had to.
okay, okay.
Seriously. I think the big difference on it is fuel.
Fuel.
Yeah, once being hauled out of the valley, we produced right here.
That makes sense. Josh buys his asphalt from the valley, so that's gonna be added into it somewhere along the line.
And I think I may close the road.
Oh, you know, so you're doing the highways closed for 4 hours. Well, they don't do that during Labor Day and.
It goes Memorial Day to Labor.
It's open with.
it's open then.
15-minute closures, the 4-hour closures stop at Memorial Day and then start again after Labor Day.
So we're all good?
So, I have it in there is they hire a private contractor to do quality control. We'll see, for example, and all that other good stuff.
Okay, so I got a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Everybody good? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Start on the next week.
Yeah, it's your road. If you want to fall apart like the highway does, we can, start on
I was
that.
gonna say, let's don't make it like this, like,
That's horrible, isn't it?
oh my gosh.
That wasn't the
darling.
paving job, that's base material.
Well, that's both.
I know, they
That was
gotta
both. That was
do the
state.
base while they're doing it. Holy cow.
Old Stills Frost Seed's been there for 55 years. I remember hitting them in the school bus when I was in 6th grade. We always wanted to sit in the.
That's
back.
what's wrong. You hit your head on the roof too many times.
Jeff, they didn't have school buses back then. You must have been on horseback.
No, that was you. You're
That was me, yeah, you're right.
thinking far back.
Hey,
All
Jeff,
right,
what do you-
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
With the with the roads that were not
Signings.
included in the motion, do you want us to return those to you?
I had to go ride my bike on some of that.
What?
Bids.
The other two roads we didn't even include. You want those bids back? They're right here.
You can give it back and I'll
Yeah.
just save it.
We'll save it.
and
Patty Flat.
so
Wait.
And Rogers.
It's still not accepted or whatever, so can I have all those?
You
or
can
do
have everything as long
I
as
must not have
we
just caught that
get-
line or something.
I don't, not even necessarily first, as long as we get them, so we make sure that we retain those records
So
somewhere.
if I take them and scan them, I
And
can send
email
you a
them,
copy?
an electronic copy is good as an original, so yes.
And there's a spot here for your signature, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I didn't get your stamp or anything on any of those.
Oh, he sent it all.
This was just. the-
Jeff, This is exciting.
Yeah, it's like,
That's a lot of paving. Those are on my.
Okay, here's all the Joshes.
It'd be nice
Do I need to decline those?
Jeff, I was just gonna ask you too, did you guys just put those, share the road signs up by the county
Okay.
building up in Lake Fork?
so if anybody
Those
wants
recent, or did those go in
Well,
last?
they were there when,
And
they're
then
only,
these are all the
only from our
envelopes for
shop to
these.
the highway.
Yeah, no, I just saw those the other day, I was,
You
It's
sure?
part of that federal money.
Thanks,
They've been
Mickey.
there. I always thought it was kind of weird because it's just only for a quarter-mile stretch of road that you're supposed to share the road.
yeah, widest part too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Thanks.
thank
Okay,
you.
bada bing, bada boom. Hey, we got about 6 minutes till our next agenda item, so if you need a break, this would be the time.
Are you plugged into the printer?
Oh yeah, can I just print something off real quick? I was waiting to.
I could have printed 10 times by now.
I don't know, I've got a black death going on right now. The hourglass isn't even spinning.